Hi everyone and welcome to Gamerside. This is Dreyfus speaking, and today for this Gamerside offline video I'm going to show you Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 on PlayStation 5. As you can see, I'm not going to be able to give you my opinion on the game as I haven't played enough of it to be able to really say if it's worth a shot in terms of story and investigation mechanics in the long run. And the reason why is not because we were sent the game too late, but more because sadly it is actually as I'm speaking now still plagued with a lot of performance issues, both on let me I hope I can switch the language. Yes, I can, because if I can, that would be awkward. But yeah, the problem is that um, mainly there are performance issues with the game on PlayStation 5. The PC version also has those issues, meaning that there is not, for me at least, it's not a really enjoyable experience. And I decided not to keep playing until this is fixed. I remember that when I reviewed The Sinking City, obviously this game is also developed by Frogwares. They have been in charge of the Sherlock Holmes games ever since 2002. So it's no wonder to see them back this time without Nakon or even Focus before. They're on their own. And the Sinking City had performance issues on consoles and PC even, but the PC version I reviewed back then, I was able to go past that and enjoy the experience. It had issues, but overall, I had a good time considering. But this time, whether on PC or on PlayStation 5, as you can see here, and I'm sure it's pretty obvious, it's not the recording, it's not OBS, it's really the game. So you have those problems, you have stuttering issues, frame drops. On PC, changing the resolution doesn't make any difference for me. I'm running the game on an i9 900K and an RTX 2080 Ti, and it's the same. It's if not worse. I mean, the image quality is better, shadow resolutions and everything. It looks a bit sharper, but there's a lot of pop-in issues. LOD is not very good. But more than that, again, what I reproach the game for most is really the frame rate problems. So I'm going just to show you basically the mechanics you can expect to see in the game, and I think it's important that yeah, sure, you realize that aside from the technical issues, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 is still an investigation game, that the gameplay mechanics are pretty similar to what they were, what we had in The Sinking City, and that it's not a bad thing, as it, they were they worked, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed the game, as the action part of the Sinking City was not really convincing, at least for me. So here we are in Cordona, which is an island in the Mediterranean, where Sherlock spent a few years as a kid with his mother and brother, and also his imaginary friend John here. And he's back because his mother passed away, and he, yeah, probably he needs to accept this, but also he needs to remember. But obviously, is going to discover that the circumstances of her death are a bit strange, and so he will have to find out what happened to her, and to follow a long investigation, even though there will also be optional cases to take, as just like in The Sinking City. Cordona is an open city where he can freely explore. So here it's not the it's the beginning of the game, but past the prologue basically, and we have a certain number of things to do here, and as you can see, what you could see, doors are shut,
Another
but
one.
they're shut because they're
There must be
blocked
something
because of
behind it.
the memories I have not remembered yet. So what I have to do here is I need to find a way to remember.
Mycroft's umbrella, the only outgoing thing in his wardrobe.
So we find documents.
Something did happen that day, but no one can tell us the details. How can that be?
Agreed. It's rather suspicious.
And inside, actually indoor, frame rate is smooth, as maybe you've noticed here. It's really outside. Now on PC, even inside, even if the FPS counter keeps saying it's 60, I do find that there is stuttering, at least on my rig. And again, it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, the worst is really when you are wandering in the town, on the island, and sure, it's not going to be detrimental to the gameplay itself, as you don't need to be very precise or anything. Even though there are action sequences that I do not think are really interesting either. But for me, it breaks the immersion. I mean, the pop-in issues, the LOD. I mean, it's not really good for immersion, as you probably realize. But the fact that you have stuttering and frame drops all the time, it makes it even worse. And it's really a shame, because although it's a AA game, it's Unreal Engine 4, and I think it's possible to make it run smoothly, especially on systems like PS5 and Xbox Series X. I haven't seen the Xbox Series X version, but I don't see why it would run better.
Hey, this is the luggage we
Or
brought
much
from
better,
London, isn't it?
since the PC has problems too. And again, maybe it's because I'm recording this too early, but then again, when the Sinking City was released back then, it had issues, technical issues. So I can't just, say don't worry, it's going to be okay, because I don't know. What's going on? I'm sort of lost here, because I don't really remember
Home,
what I'm supposed to
sweet
do.
home, Sherry.
I'm supposed to trigger something so that the memories start appearing in the scenery, and for some reason it's not there. Which obviously is because I'm recording this, and so the game wants me to ask for a full again. So what am I supposed to do? Can't remember. Didn't I
One of the
check
first
this?
things
Maybe.
I saw when entering
Maybe
this house as a child. It's like deja vu.
Another memory incoming, Sherry.
Oh yeah, that's
Strange.
it.
I struggle to recall anything about the day we moved in. The only detail I'm sure of is that it was raining early that morning.
And then maybe let's check the.
Hey, this is the luggage we brought from London, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So now I have. So you have the casebook, and the casebook you can pin evidence, which you can do via the menu, like here. But you can also do when playing. So when you do that, this is when you're going to be able to use your sort of investigator vision
There's always a hat on our stand,
to
but I'm sure it did not belong
to
to
notice elements, so like here memories, but in the case of a crime scene, for example,
Our mother brought a slew of belongings with her. She refused to leave a single thing in London.
like remarks that
Mycroft had to spend the whole day dealing with it.
that Sherlock will make on
This trip
the
was a challenge for our mother.
the different clues that he
tried to
can
help her.
find.
Do you feel it? Is it the air shimmering, or is it my imagination?
And when you have collected everything, you can start you can start remembering what happened. So it's a mechanic we saw earlier in previous games by Frogware. Here it's not so much putting everything back in the chronological order. It's more about finding out who was where. So here, for example, you have the choice between this old guy, the children, so John and Sherlock, and also Mycroft. Since Sherlock didn't remember the hat to belong to Mycroft, it must be these old guys. And then, if you remember, he said something about helping his mother up the stairs. So it was not Mycroft or the old man, but it was him. Once you have found everything, you can validate. You can validate and be wrong, but then you start over and until you find the proper order or the proper position of the different characters. So this all these mechanics, I mean, they work well. This is what people have loved the Sherlock Holmes games for, and so they will be happy to find them again here.
Take your time.
Actually, I never heard her coughing. I remember now.
And now we're going to be able to go to Sherlock's room. So I really wanted to show you how the game plays, even though there's nothing really new. So you can see if you can go past the technical issues I've mentioned and that you'll see, or if it's preferable for you to wait and see if it can be patched. And maybe when it's patched, if you like what you see, if you like that old school approach to adventure games, 3D adventure games, and I'm getting a call right now, and it must be Dafton, as I'm sure. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm going to have to hang up on him and show you the next sequence.
Look at this. It's like
So this is
traveling 10 years
Sherlock's
into the
room.
past with a single step. Oddly satisfying.
Some elements in the room are going to be important for the rest of the investigation.
It reminds me of our neighbour.
This
he had
is
the same
one.
balloon in his yard, only bigger. Do you remember?
So
Yes.
there's mention of
visited
a
him several
neighbor who
times
had a
while living here.
balloon. And let's check the Mind Palace now, where you can also see if you can find connections between the different clues you have. So here, the fact that there's a lie surrounding the death of Sherlock's mother. And maybe the friendly neighbor can help us understand why there are no records of my Sherlock's mother's death. So here, the casebook here, looking for a family friend. That might
Wasn't
be
that
actually
neighbour missing a
something
finger?
to
That does sound
pursue.
vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name
and then you have
Theodore
those
Gilder,
moments
perhaps?
here where you have
It's
to
perfect
you have a
time to
certain number of items to find. It's not difficult
The only fiction
really,
book on my table.
unless you
Still hear my
don't
mother
realize
read
that you can sometimes move around like this a little bit. Here it's not necessary, but sometimes if you don't, you're not going to be able to find the last
Interesting.
element
What's
you're
that
supposed
over there?
to find. But since the game always tells you how many
This
clues
doorknob has a
are to be
cross-shaped
found,
end.
it's
Too
really not
intricate to be merely a
difficult. I mean, you're not guided too much, even
know
in
what?
the
That definitely
default
looks like a key.
difficulty setting.
Let's poke around and see if we can
But
So many pleasant evenings
yeah,
were
sure.
spent here
I
with
guess
the
some people
Encyclopedia Americana.
will find it a bit difficult sometimes because yes, you're not going to be it's not hand-holdy. I would say not that much.
The first chemical
and there's a-
laboratory I ever made. I almost miss its elegant simplicity.
Yeah, there's so the wooden handle I just found. I've been asked by my brother, well, not my brother, sorry, my friend John. He has there's a hidden treasure in the room, and he's challenged me to find it. So it's optional. Here you can take a look here and see. Okay, is it the type of key that would work with the handle I found? No, it doesn't fit.
here.
But there's another. Yeah, suitable opening here. Sure enough, it works. And inside, I'm going to find.
My small archive of crime clippings.
Yeah,
Maybe I
small
should
archive
pick
of
up this
crime
habit again.
clippings from and
Made of cherry wood,
Sherlock's dad's
father's favourite.
pipe.
Still has a faint odor of tobacco. One of the few things on this
So
island
this
that
is
smell like
this
home.
does not concern the main investigation, as far as I know.
I
So
knew
it's like
you'd find
optional
it in
stuff.
no time.
But that's a challenge I won. So now let's go look for my family friend. For the family friend, so we can learn more about the passing of Sherlock's mother. So hopefully it'll be daylight. Yeah. So you can see the problems I was talking about. Not even talking about performance, but yeah, when you move your camera around, you can see the flickering in the trees and the sort of odd things happening, and you'll see the light issues and the pop in and the frame rate. Again, that for me is sort of a no-go for now. Again, in my opinion, even though it's not a game that requires high frame rates to be enjoyable, for me, just exploring an environment when you have those hitches, it's not pleasant at all. And yeah, again, you'll just you're entitled to your own opinion, obviously, and if you don't agree, I'd understand. But for me, it's really a shame. So when you explore, you find places, and then you have the names of the different places you've visited, the street names and everything. This is given to you with the map, but the rest you need to walk around. At least most of the elements, most of the places, the locations, the monuments you find, and the fast travel also points you can find. So we're looking for a neighbor who has a balloon, and well, sure, I know where it's located, but if you leave the mansion here and you just walk down this street, you will see the balloon. Pretty obvious in the distance. So which means that's where we're going now. Well, I'm sorry about the voice. It's I'm not sick per se, but I guess my voice is a little bit and
That wretch
making me
Goliath
sound
will
a
murder us all. Mark
bit like
my
Vin
words.
Diesel, maybe. So is something happening here in the Gilden's yard. The gate is in pretty bad shape, I would say. So let's just go and check it out.
Destruction and trampled ground.
Okay. So, typical crime scene.
Oof, a contortionist
Looking
you
for
were.
clues, just like before. So here you have a missing
Pinky, middle-aged,
pinky. Yeah.
to none other than Theodore Gilden. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A belt from a dressing gown. Curious. A kneecap reduced to splinters.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too
So let's
interesting
follow
to
the
give it
trail
up
of
to the
blood
police.
here. So here, when you have those circles, you need to use the investigator vision, Sherlock's vision, to collect the evidence.
Hope The
A bull
elephant
hook.
with this?
Hmm.
Really? People are hopeless.
But there's also the blood here.
A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
And
a
the
strong
chain.
pull broke this leash.
Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence.
So you can take photographs when you're told
This
to, or you can
photograph
probably
will help us
take them
find the old
anytime you
article
want,
about
but
the
I don't think it's very
elephant.
useful
Front page
unless you're asked to it.
It was
And when you do so,
unbelievable.
it will allow you
We need it in our
to
investigation.
check the picture in your casebook. So it's not quite finished yet before we can try and understand how this terrible tragedy unfolded. We need to find another place here where we'll notice a few
Coal
more
gas tank.
things.
Enough to pump up an airship. A sailor's knife, useful for cutting wet and thick ropes.
Okay, so the knife, and there's
It's
the
seen
blade.
a lot of use. The blade is worn from grinding.
And if you move to the side, you should be able to, yeah, see this too.
Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this shed.
Now I should be able to use the Mine Palace again. So let's combine those two. So the elephant Goliath may have attacked Theodore Gilden in order to break free. Okay. Let's see if we can put everything back in chronological order. Well, it should be doable since I've done it before. So every time you do it, it's John taking care of it, as Sherlock is meditating. So here you have three different. So was Gilden attacking, trying to, well, not maybe not attacking him, but like scaring the elephant? Or did the elephant just attack him like this? Probably is what happened here, because there's blood, and the bull hook actually fell down, so that makes sense. Now, second point of interest here. Well, I don't think he would be running here, so probably, yeah, that makes sense, as the body was found lying here. Okay. Was someone running away? No, because we know the elephant went this way. Okay, the elephant. But there was someone. There was a witness. Okay, so let's validate.
In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed. The elephant can't have gone too far. I can still track it.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
So, let's pin the evidence concerning the elephant and try to track the beast. And what better way to do it than to ask these witnesses if they've seen anything.
Is this familiar to you?
That's a question I can answer.
So for him to actually give you information, you need to have the right evidence pinpointed on your screen. So we know that he left and headed for the elephant headed for the forest, and then the elephant took the Greek bridge, which is just right this way. So let's go. And you can see for yourself the a lot of issues it was talking about. NPCs also tend to appear out of nowhere. There's a woman carrying sort of, I don't know what she's carrying on her back, but it's always like transparent, which looks very odd. And it's really a bug. And also the animation, you know, when the NPCs are a bit further away, it doesn't look very, very good. So okay, so there's a elephant's
The
footprint.
elephant barged into this cart of olive oil.
What if we're lucky and he slipped and fell somewhere along the way?
So what I regret is this doesn't seem to be any any traces of the footprints. If you go this way, and if you, which would make sense because I mean we're told that the elephant went headed for the forest, so it would make sense for him to go down this path. But apparently it's well, same thing. I don't see anything. Maybe I'm not looking where I should. There's a tree here. Oh, actually, he's related to Gildan. My gratitude to this island. Thank you for giving me time to read. Just as this tree I give to you from the most responsible, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So maybe the elephant came to pay a tribute to Gildan here. Okay, so there's a trace of its passage here.
Okay,
Okay.
hear me out.
Yeah.
If an elephant falls in the forest and there's no one around to...
John, no.
Oh, you're such a killjoy.
But if you manage to, again, go past the frame rate issues and the LOD issues that I mentioned, that you can see, it's not a bad looking game at all. I mean, it looks pretty nice, considering again it's a double A game. It's not triple A, so I think it looks good enough to to be immersive. If it could get rid of all those performance issues. So you have to mention that I know more or less where I'm going, which makes it easier. But like I said, you're not going to be given a very specific objective, like a location where you have to go. It's you have to look for
Strange.
the clue. That's why I said it was not handholdy, and that's why people like the series. So it's a good thing. Now sometimes some people might think it's a bit too. Yeah, maybe you could use a bit of help
The game has escaped us
to know
for now.
what to do
We'll
next.
find
So
a
here, for
solution to the
example,
elephant problem later.
Sherlock mentions that the elephant problem will be taken care of later. So which means here, even though the evidence still appears on screen, there's no. I mean, you don't. If you keep looking for the elephant in the forest, you're not going to find anything. So because we found a key now, the logical thing to do is to go back to the mansion so that we can actually enter the house, which is what we're going to do. And I'm walking back there, sorry, because again, want to show you when you run that. Sure, it's playable, but it's not really pleasant to see all the hiccups of the frame rate as you run through the city. Or the island. The island is actually pretty diverse in terms of like the different neighborhoods you can explore and visit. It's nice. And there are people on the streets. There's life. So we're inside the manor. There actually are 2 rooms to explore.
You.
And we're going to meet
are you?
Gildan's
My
daughter.
name is Sherlock Holmes. Theodore Gildan was...
Did you kill him? Did you kill the elephant?
It's not in the yard anymore. It escaped into the forest.
You can't let it go. What if it returns?
I highly doubt that, Miss...
Imogen Gildan. Please, I beg of you. Find that dreadful beast that killed my father.
I suppose we do need to learn what happened.
Okay, so tell me everything you
Can
know.
you tell me what happened? From the very start.
I was here, so I didn't see how it began.
I don't know what you
My father
think
visits the
about
enclosure
the
every
voice
morning to
acting.
wake up Goliath.
I would say
Here,
it's
I heard the elephant scream.
yeah, it's
I've never heard such
more
a
or less along the
horrifying
same
sound.
lines
My
as
heart stopped.
the voice
I
acting
knew
in the
something was
previous
wrong.
games by the
I looked
studio.
through my window and saw how it.
But I have
How
to
it
say,
lifted my
probably
father up by his
Sherlock
neck.
is
I
the
rushed
best
downstairs.
performance
I
of the
saw it
bunch.
dragging my father as if he were a
But I
doll.
don't know. There's
I threw
something
stones at
about
it.
it that
It dropped my father's body and
makes me
charged
say
outside,
it
screaming.
doesn't
Its roar was
sound
almost human.
natural.
I was frightened, so I
You
ran
know,
inside and hid here.
for lack of better words.
That is a terrifying experience, Miss Gilden. I'm
And
sorry
maybe you
had
won't
to go
agree with
through
me again.
Thank you.
It's just that
Goliath must be caught, Mr. Holmes.
Well,
the
thank
more
you
I
for the information,
remember
Miss
of the
Gilden. I did have
the
some
older
questions
Sherlock
for your
Holmes from the
father.
other games,
Perhaps
uh,
you might help me with them?
I don't
I
know.
wasn't privy to much of my
It was
father's
more
life,
convincing
and
overall.
it's very hard to think of anything at all with
But
Goliath
maybe that's
still
because
loose.
it's the Victorian
Please, Mr.
era and the
Holmes.
the way
Very
they
well.
speak and everything.
Do you
Maybe
mind
that's
if I
why.
ask you more questions if I find anything that might help?
Anything to catch that monster.
So I can provide evidence, either when it's a suspect or just someone, a person of interest related to the case. Here, it's the victim's daughter. And if you choose something that is not relevant, it won't have any consequences, obviously.
Had Goliath been aggressive before?
It's dangerous, but it was never aggressive near my father. My father would do anything for Goliath. All the elephant had to do was clap its ears.
You envied him, the elephant, I mean?
Our house is called the House of Ivory. I've heard some people refer to me as the Ivory Girl, and my room stinks of the animal, as if it's me who lives in a pen and not Goliath. It's not envy, Mr. Holmes. It's just incredibly difficult to live like this. I've nothing to say about this.
So here, for example, see, this was a testimony, so it was actually pointless actually for me to choose this, but she's not going to, it's not going to block me or anything. So here.
Did you
let's
observe
ask her
anyone
this.
else in the yard? Any of your servants, perhaps?
Servants?
But
Do
you really have
imagine
to
that we would have
remember that
envy
it's
with
very
Goliath?
important when
No one
when
wishes
there
to
is a
work in
person
his
of interest,
house,
and you
even
can
for
you
double
can
pay.
provide them
I didn't see
with
anyone
evidence.
Only my father
That
and
if you do find
diabolical
things, you
beast.
have to go back to them because they will
Miss Gilden, I was on
actually.
this
So
island 10
let's skip
years ago,
this.
and your father...
You have to come back and talk to them and present them with the evidence you found, because they are going to be, you're going to need them to continue the investigation, because they might actually give you information that you need for the next step in the investigation. If you don't, you may think you have the necessary clues
Staring
to
at an
continue,
elephant's
but you're going to get
backside.
stuck
What a
probably.
wonderful life.
And this is maybe when you could use a little more help sometimes, I guess. But again, it's me talking about the beginning of the adventure. I haven't seen everything, so I don't know if it's really something that is
relatively
potentially
functional choice to
going to
replace
be
the
a
finger.
problem for some people.
Oh, the pungent stench of an animal.
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
I think Miss Gilden has barely matured.
So okay, another photograph.
I think they were closer than you and me, John.
I'm hurt.
Takes a little bit of a, I don't get to decide when I can go back to gameplay, so it's a bit long, I think. So there's another picture here.
Mother. It's nice to see her young and smiling. From before Mycroft was born, our family loves to prod at the past.
Holmes's
And if you
desire
if you
rake
want
up
to
the
see
past is
everything
hereditary.
that you can interact with in the room, you just press L1, and then you can see.
A catchy title.
So for example, this sort of map here gives you information,
What's so
and
special about this place?
we're
Another
going to take a
elephant?
picture of it, so it will be in the casebook. So you might think,
Partnership
okay,
with
that's
Holmes
all I
being a
need to
single
continue the
stroke of a pen.
investigation.
I should take a
But as far as
photograph
I
of the
know,
plans, and
as
want to
I
carry them out.
haven't completed this part of the story yet, you need to go back to Mrs. Gilden so that she's going to give you more
His
info
second
on
child,
that
an apparent son
Mr.
and heir, I'd
Smith.
say.
Swift, not Smith. Sorry. And if you don't, if you just leave which you can, you might think that, for example, here the Ivory Bath construction plan is going to be enough for you to find that Mr. Swift. The thing is, because that's what I did first. I tried to find on the map something that looked similar. Never really found it, so I don't know where it is yet. And that's probably because maybe it's the final project plan, right? The plan of the final project. And so go back to her, provide the new evidence you found. So there's the perfume.
Which part of the elephant is in here? It's quite pungent.
Probably not
Oh,
the
that. It's
most
awful
relevant clue I
scent.
have,
Believe
but
that it might replace traditional ambergris.
Well, that's true entrepreneur spirit.
and
Hey,
this
Swift,
is what
this
I
name
need
familiar
to
you? Your father had
tell
it
her
removed
about.
from this plan.
Oh, that's Arthur Swift. I've seen him a couple of times.
To
now.
Arthur.
He works with my father in the old city, digging up something ancient.
He
So
is
we have a
archaeologist.
location like
That's
Old
the word,
City.
yes. But to be truthful, I really don't think Mr. Swift is fit to be one. I've just learnt a lot about archaeology from my favourite book series. Oh, they are page turners.
Inspirational, I'm sure, but would you happen to know where this Mr. Swift might be found?
I don't, but perhaps you can find out somewhere. My father's work with him is all official. Lots of boring legal papers with
So legal
signatures and stuff.
papers, signatures and stuff. Might have to find a place in the city, in the town, where I can find information about that Mr. Swift. No. No. Okay. So we're not going to continue to follow the investigation, as I don't want to spoil too much, even though that's the beginning of the adventure. But I wanted to show you why the action sequences, I don't think, are really they haven't really nailed them. It's really like you have like bandit lairs that are optional, and I'm sure that there will be sequences in the game where you have to fight and everything. So, well, be it, right? But the bandit lairs that are optional, completely optional, I mean, they're presented a bit like some of sort of arcadey sequences, but again, the gameplay, the gunplay in general, it's not satisfying, and it's actually pretty challenging. I completed the first one I tried on PC at the first attempt, so didn't realize it was difficult. But as I was recording the French gamer side offline, I never could actually beat the bandits, and it had me very pissed actually. Not because I couldn't show the end of the sequence, but because it was not pleasant to play. So it was really annoying. To try and find... Oh no, that's probably not down there. It's this way. So hopefully you'll understand... Oh no, it's actually not this way. No. I'll find the place eventually. I mean, so you have see the frame rate is just horrendous here. It's really a shame, as I believe that, you know, it's not the hardware, it's not the system, it's not the PS5, it's not my PC. It's really the game, and it shouldn't be like that. And other than that, again, it's a pretty nice island to explore, right? There's life, there are, you know, different types of buildings and everything. It's really well crafted. But yeah, robs all the time. That's hard. So here, a bandit lair. You can even unlock and activate challenges for higher reward multiplier. So you really, it's really sort of arcade experience. But yeah. So the thing is, you're not supposed to kill your enemies. You're supposed to get rid of them differently. So every time you incapacitate them, you have to do sort of a quick time event.
Take a
Thing is,
rest,
the
my
button
friend.
changes all the time for no real reason, if you ask me.
I'm gonna hurt you.
You have to use the environment, or, for example, if you if you do this, you can actually make him surrender.
Don't cry, you'll live.
You can crouch, but it's not very useful. So here, can I? It's going to be too late, right? Yeah, it's too late. So this guy, the only way I can incapacitate him is if I use the environment. So I
Snuff's
really don't
ready.
like the fact that
Too
the
simple.
button
Give him the pepper snuff.
changes all the time. Doesn't make any sense in a way.
I'm coming. Oh.
Don't bother.
The snuff's ready.
No, that's not what I want. And you get shot, you know, while you're trying to do your thing. And it's annoying as hell. You see, it's not precise at all. And I'm dead. This is just a nightmare to play. See, this is just not fun. And this is how I'm going to end this Gamerside Offline, reminding you that you should not keep this sequence in mind. This is not what the game is all about, but this is something that again, I completed on PC this specific passage, and it was not really enjoyable, but I did it, and clearly here, I don't know if there was a patch or if it's because I'm a much better player on PC than I'm on PS5. But here it's just I can try again, you know, maybe, but it's gonna be the same. It's just you know, it's controls are not satisfying. It's just, you know, and I'm using the assist mode, right? So maybe it's actually worse with the assist because, you know.
I will end you.
Okay, so let's try and do this. Oh, and it's not working because, you know, see, I can't move any. This is ridiculous. Stop shooting me in the back. You
No
So
more crime
yeah,
for you
if you
until
manage
next
to
month.
stay hidden a little while, there's a, I think your life, get a bit of your life back.
Too simple.
So and you get
snuff's
some life
ready.
back when you get rid of an enemy too, which is good to know, obviously.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, you're coming from me.
No more crime for you.
Give him the pepper snuff. We can overcome the brute now.
Well, no. No need to actually try and. So now I can actually get rid of him.
Too simple.
I'm gonna try, right? I'm going
Snuff's
to try
ready.
really hard to. No.
I'm gonna hurt you.
So here we go. Oh, maybe I can have them both. That
Don't
was
cry,
nice.
You'll live.
Give him the pepper
Okay,
snuff.
camera getting
Too
crazy.
The snuff's ready.
No. Okay, there you go.
No more crime for you.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Oh no. And you have to follow a certain order
It's
too,
all yours now.
which I
Go
don't
for
really
it.
understand why, but why not?
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
So where are they? Okay, so there's one here. Oh no. Come on! No, come on. No. Yeah, obviously. He was going to do that. Let me... Oh no, I can't... I can shoot the hat because...
Time to knock this guy out.
Get ready for
And there you go, I'm dead again because the game is stupid. That's all I can say. This is just the definition of not fun. It's annoying as hell, and that's really, I don't know why they did it this way. I mean, they would have preferred not just an arena where you're stuck in one room where you can't really hide with people just shooting you in the back, or when you slow things down, you get hit just as much as if you don't use that slow motion thing you have going on. And yeah, that's really say the game is the game technical issues are fixed and everything. I'm actually keep playing this just for the investigation part that I think is nice. But the bandit lair, I mean, it's clearly not an addition that I'm going to go back play. And maybe again you'll disagree, and I'm sorry if I sound harsh, but this is just not fun, and I don't see the point in those sequences. It's not realistic. It's annoying. That's all I can say. So that was Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. A very quick presentation with a lot of annoyed comments at the end of it. But keep in mind that this is the main part of the game is about just following the investigations, the cases you'll uncover, whether optional or not. And that this part, if you know the previous games by Frogware, it's not going to be very surprising in terms of mechanics, but it works well. And I just believe that they should just drop the action part entirely, because they've never really made it, and this is not going to. This is not better in this game. And that's it. That's all I could tell you today about Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, running on PlayStation 5 here. I thank you all for watching. I'm sorry I was I was a bit grumpy toward the end. And well, until next time, it was me, Driftwood, signing off for Gamerside. So take care of yourselves, and see you very, very soon. Bye, guys.